All right, Pre-Algebra coming at you with day 3 here, which would be the 31st for hours 2 and 7, and the 1st for 4th hour. I just want to kind of walk through what I want you to do. Most of you have gotten your questions into me. Quite a few of you still have not done your data or your frequency table. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do it. If you're not sure, make sure you are going on Skyward to check your grades, and if something's marked missing, I do not have it. So make sure you are going on doing that. Also, make sure you are viewing this video to help you with any questions or walkthrough. Okay, so I'm going to again share my screen with you here. So going on, that's my YouTube channel. All right, here we go. So it says day 3 right here. You will be choosing a data display and creating it. And then you're going to explain to me why you chose that data display. So, again, the other day I had my piece of paper in front of me. Some of you are trying to create these things on the computer. Don't do too much, okay? They have to be clear to read and all that. So here I have a blank sheet of paper. I had all my data. You know, I wrote it all down, had my frequency table. Well, this is, again, you take your frequency table and you're going to make some sort of data display. Now, choosing the appropriate data display, if you go down again to your statistics project, this is the whole overview page, and you look at it, right here it says choosing an appropriate data display. All right, so if you used a numerical question, you can use a line graph, you can use a scatter plot because it's for numerical data. You can use a stem and leaf plot, or you can use a histogram or box and whisker plot. Okay, so you have those choices depending on what exactly your question was. And you can use more than one of those as well, but you have to pick at least one. If you had a categorical question, which is a lot of you, you can use a bar graph, because say compare categorical data, or a circle graph categorical data. Remember, that's going to be parts of a whole, though. So you're looking at one of those. A lot of you are probably going to pick bar graph, okay? Going in here, again, going back to your book, it actually explains it all. So here, whisker plot, circle plot, bar graph, line graph. These are all the pages in the book, histogram. So if you're looking at pages 582 is that frequency table. Those pages up until 595, go through the rest of those. Otherwise, Google is your friend. You can Google how to make a bar graph. Make sure they are labeled, okay? So again, you're going to choose. So my data was all numerical because I had numbers 1 through 4. So for me, I would probably pick a histogram, okay? And again, we want to make sure that everything is even. So I'm going here and I'm doing a real rough. So remember, mine were how many sports did the average freshman play in a year? So we had 1 sport, 2 sports, 3 sports, 4 sports, okay? And that's kind of my title is number of sports played in the year, okay? So now my students on here, remember I was going to have 50. So this is where my intervals come into play. So whatever my intervals were for my frequency table, maybe I said 0 to 25, blah, 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 going through it, okay? Where I'm actually having it, well, this is actually what it would be here. So this is the number of students. So this would be 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40. Okay, and then I have my 1 sport, my 2 sport, my 3 sport, and my 4 sports. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, say I had, for my frequency table, I'm trying to do this through the camera, and I had 10. 10 people played 2 sports. 17. 13. And I'll just do 5 here. Okay, made this up. You used a random generator. Anyways, here's my frequency table. So for 1, I had 17. Well, this goes up to 11. This goes up to 20. So 17 is about right here. It's really hard to do through the phone. Yours is going to be much neater than mine. Okay, so for 2, I had 10. I'm labeling this sports. This is people, or number of students. Okay, for 3, I had 13. So I'm going to go about up to here. And again, you can write the numbers above it too on your data displays. If you're doing the cutting it in between here, that's fine. And for 4, I had 5. So this is sports played. Okay, so this is a really, this right here, if you were to turn into a histogram to me that looked like this, you would get not the best grade. Okay. This is probably C minus, D plus work right here. Very sloppy. Very sloppy. But I wanted to quick go through it and have you do it. So I chose that because, again, mine was numerical data. If you have categorical data, do the same thing with your bar graph. Okay, so you have your own little bar graph here. This can be your number of students. This can be, maybe it was your shoe, it was brands. Right, some kind of brands of shoes. Nike, Adidas, got your Jordans, whatever. And you had your numbers of students, and you're going up by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And so you had a lot of students, 25 students liked your Nikes. You just kind of make your bar right here. Okay, Adidas, you only had 10. Or Jordans, you had 30. All right, whatever it is. That's kind of how you do your bar graph. Again, there's a label, got your other labels down here telling me you have your numbers up here. This is kind of clearly labeled for you. All right, so that's what you're doing tomorrow. You are going through. Again, look at all of this. Make sure it's neat. You want to get a really good grade on it. Super neat. I don't care if you use lined paper. Hey, use lined paper. Use the lines to your advantage. It needs to be neat, and if you want to even go above and beyond to help your grade, you know, you can color coordinate, so you can make each thing different to make it as clear as possible. Because again, when you're doing your presentation at the end, you're going to be saying like, this is what I did, and here's my neat data display. Okay, when I said a professional data display, meaning it doesn't look scribbled like mine. Okay, you want it to be super neat. You look at it how we had it in the book, how we were doing it in class, super neat. So going through, that's what you're doing for tomorrow. You're going to go on, you're doing day 3. Well, tomorrow and Wednesday, you're doing day 3. Your data display, you're choosing them and you're creating them. And then you're giving an explanation. So I'm going to tell you, I chose a histogram because I had numerical data, and I thought it would best show the different types, the different amount of sports played by however many students, and it made it easy to compare. Well, I can see more students played one sport, far more than one sport than 4 sports, or more than half the data. If I draw it here, I had 18 above that played 3 or 4, but I had 27 below. So you can say more students played 1 to 2 sports than played 3 to 4 sports. So I laid it out nicely to where I can easily read my data. Okay, so that's why you're explaining to me why you chose your data selection. Obviously, one of it should be because you had a categorical or numerical data. And so that's your explanation. So when you're going on it, you're going to take a picture like this, and your explanation is going to be written right below it here. So here's my data display that I have. This is a different one. This is another example for you guys. So here's my data display. I'm going to say I chose this. I chose a histogram because ... And I'm going to say, well, because I had numerical data to show, it helps me compare blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you're going to go through and you're going to write your reasons for choosing it. You need to have more than just because it was categorical or because it was numerical. You need to go more into detail because of that. All right. So then you're going to go on and you'll be on this main page again. There will be a day 3 to select down here. Day 3 will have this video as well as the directions for step 1, watch the video, step 2, choose your data display, step 3, create your data display, step 4, write your explanation, step 5, you're going to upload it just like you did with your data table and your frequency table. Any questions? Of course, you can find me easily during my office hours. You can send me a Schoology message or an email. Otherwise, we'll see you for day 4.